Start writing, no matter what. The water does not flow until the faucet is turned on. Get it down. Take chances. It may be bad, but it's the only way you can do anything really good. The first draft is just you telling yourself the story. You don't start out writing good stuff. You start out writing crap and thinking it's good stuff, and then gradually you get better at it. Start before you're ready. You can always edit a bad page. You can't edit a blank page. You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. I have never started a poem yet whose end I knew. Writing a poem is discovering. If there's a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. I'm writing a first draft and reminding myself that I'm simply shoveling sand into a box so that later I can build castles. I get a lot of letters from people. They say, I want to be a writer. What should I do? I tell them to stop writing to me and get on with it. First, find out what your hero wants, then just follow him. The greatest part of a writer's time is spent in reading, in order to write. A man will turn over half a library to make a book. Writing a novel is like driving a car at night. You can only see as far as your headlights, but you can make the whole trip that way. To produce a mighty book, you must choose a mighty theme. Tell the readers a story. Because without a story, you are merely using words to prove you can string them together in logical sentences. Description begins in the writer's imagination but should finish in the reader's. No tears in the writer, no tears in the reader. No surprise in the writer, no surprise in the reader. If you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all others: read a lot and write a lot. Close the door. Write with no one looking over your shoulder. Don't try to figure out what other people want to hear from you. Figure out what you have to say. It's the one and only thing you have to offer. Never write anything that does not give you great pleasure. Emotion is easily transferred from the writer to the reader. My own experience is that once a story has been written, one has to cross out the beginning and the end. It is there that we authors do most of our lying. The most valuable of all talents is that of never using two words when one will do. When your story is ready for rewrite, cut it to the bone. Get rid of every ounce of excess fat. This is going to hurt. Revising a story down to the bare essentials is always a little like murdering children, but it must be done. It is perfectly okay to write garbage as long as you edit brilliantly. Half my life is an act of revision. Writing without revising is the literary equivalent of waltzing gaily out of the house in your underwear. Write your first draft with your heart. Rewrite with your head. So the writer who breathes more words than he needs, is making a chore for the reader who reads. You write to communicate to the hearts and minds of others what's burning inside you, and we edit to let the fire show through the smoke. Anyone and everyone taking a writing class knows that the secret of good writing is to cut it back, pare it down, winnow, chop, hack, prune, and trim, remove every superfluous word, compress, compress, compress. When you write a book, you spend day after day scanning and identifying the trees. When you're done, you have to step back and look at the forest. It took me 15 years to discover I had no talent for writing, but I couldn't give it up because by that time I was too famous. There's no such thing as writer's block. That was invented by people in California who couldn't write. Outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. I love deadlines. I like the whooshing sound they make as they fly by.